Get the Friendo Club set up today and get access to over 700 Going in Raw bonus episodes, our monthly Big Blue predictions challenges, and the ability to ask questions at Going in Raw. We also offer the Steven Larson comic book and exclusive Friendo Club t-shirt. Just hit join here at youtube.com/Steven Larson or go to patreon.com/Steven Larson to sign up. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to the Steven Larson Pro Wrestling Podcast, ruining pro wrestling podcasting since 2014, as you can see on Larson's shirt right there, which you can get right now at friendoshop.com. We also have a bunch of jerseys now. It's the Friendo Club Hoops collection, but this is Monday. We're here to talk about, go to friendoshop.com, use promo code Friendo2024. We're here to talk about, we got info on Smackdown, and we got some news. We're going to answer a bunch of your questions as well today, Larson.
So this became a thing today, this morning. I woke up, I was drinking my coffee, and I read about this, that Chris Dispenza, who is a production crew member who has done work with AEW since 2019, filed suit against the company and Jon Moxley. And the suit alleges, quote, various degrees of negligence by AEW and Moxley, alongside civil assault and battery against Moxley, stemming from an incident that happened during Moxley's cage match against Kenny Omega on May 10th, 2023, when Mox, outside the cage, walked up to Dispenza, took a screwdriver from him, and then shoved him to the ground. Dispenza claims in the suit that he, quote, suffered severe neck and shoulder injuries as a result of being shoved to the ground unexpectedly by Moxley during a match with Kenny Omega. This is all from a Sports Illustrated write-up on it. Dispenza alleges in the lawsuit that the incident resulted in him requiring cervical fusion surgery, so that's neck, shoulder surgery, and treatment for other unspecified injuries. The suit adds that Moxley was only scripted to take the screwdriver from Dispenza, but then, quote, Dispenza then took an unplanned fall as a result of being shoved. Dispenza's legal team alleges that in deviating from what was planned, quote, Moxley either showed intent to harm Dispenza or, at a minimum, complete disregard for whether harm was a result.
Yeah, this is a bummer. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because I watched did you watch the video clip of the actual shove?
I did.
I mean, he takes it like he's like a wrestler.
Yeah.
And so it looks like it's a fakey fake. And I don't know. This is one of those things where I guess it'll be, I guess the more interesting thing will be if this is going to lead to anything that sort of changes going forward in pro wrestling. I mean, I don't know what the outcome of this is going to be. And I don't know what the timeline is in terms of, like, he got shoved to the ground and now it's 2 years later and he's suing them. I know that if he went through this entire process, which if he's going to court on this, I have no reason to doubt that he got, did it say that he actually went through surgery and all that? Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to perform surgery if they look at him as like nothing's wrong with this guy. Yeah. This is going to be interesting to see because, the shove, the guy took a tumble, but, I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, I guess. See what comes of this, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more to it. The suit also alleges that there's been past disciplinary offenses by Moxley, including a documented history of unpredictability as well as a lack of control.
That's something that Fightful, let me go ahead and double check Sean Ross Sapp's Twitter, because I think he posted on his Twitter. But he had said that, they hadn't, like the people in AEW.
Yeah, in the Sports Illustrated story, it says, however, multiple high-level AEW sources with knowledge of Moxley's working history with the company told the Takedown at SI they were unaware of any history of disciplinary issues with Moxley, noting he is respected within the promotion by talent and management.
Yeah, okay,
One referred to him as a locker room leader, disputed the characterization of Moxley given in the lawsuit. So,
yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, how this plays out.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, so no. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Sean says those I had talked to in AEW this morning said they don't believe the spot was planned out. And then he offers his own little bit of Sean Ross Sapp editorializing. A good rule of thumb: never touch anyone not approved and planned out. So,
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I'd be surprised if they didn't just sort of settle this.
Yeah.
out of court just to get rid of what could potentially be a headache, PR issue, maybe.
Yeah, probably. So let's talk about SmackDown. I'm not get the review quite yet, but we're going to talk about the length of the show because this has been top conversation for a while.
Wait, hold on a second. Are you about to tell me, oh man, Christmas come early, Larson? Are you about to break the news to me that SmackDown is going back to 2 hours? I knew it. I knew waking up this morning.
Stay tuned, or otherwise I'm pretty much tell you that Santa Claus doesn't exist. So, about 3 weeks ago, we talked about a report from PW Insider, which indicated that 3-hour SmackDowns were here to stay until at least at some point in June. That was the vibe of what we got from that.
Oh, so you're saying
an
this
internal
week,
USA Network.
Hours.
But according to Dave Meltzer on a recent Wrestling Observer Radio, it appears that SmackDown's gonna go back to remaining a 3-hour show for the foreseeable
That
future.
sentence didn't make any sense.
Nope. These transcripts come to you from Wrestle Talks, what Dave had to say, quote, until USA changes the idea, it's 3 hours until they change it. Originally, it was going to stop in June, and USA had a show that they wanted to put on from 10 to 11, piggybacking off SmackDown. For whatever reason, they made the call that it wasn't worth it. And for their ratings, it's not worth it. I think they realized that that hour 3 of SmackDown is going to do triple of anything else that they're going to put on. SmackDown is so far and away the biggest show on that station. So yeah, they're not making the move, at least for the foreseeable future, whatever that means. Continues about, I think, regarding whether WWE is making more money based on an extra hour. Dave said this, no. I guess the way they signed the contract, they must have given USA the option, because if they were making more money on the deal, it absolutely would have been said on the investors' call, and we would have seen it. We would have seen the difference in the money, so obviously the money has not changed, because if it had, we'd have been told.
Well, there you have it, Larson. The roller coaster that is life continues to
So this is interesting. Essentially, WWE is giving a third hour of their product to USA free gratis, added value.
That's one way you can put it. You could say that for a while USA was giving them a free hour ride, saying, yeah, we don't need that. If they had the option, it's crazy that they wouldn't have exercised that option. If that was written into the contract, that's like, hey, we can give you up to 3 hours, which actually makes kind of sense because SmackDown and Raw, I mean, I don't know. SmackDown and Raw, since the 2019 deal, when was SmackDown? No, so what 2016? When it was SmackDown Live, when they went back from being a clip show from 2016, I think.
2016, yeah.
SmackDown
it was still 2
Raw.
hours back then.
No, I'm saying in terms of the monetary value of each property, it's been kind of on par with each other.
Yeah.
It's not like they were getting, 2/3 the amount because they were 2 hours long and not 3 hours
And we
long.
saw that when SmackDown moved to Fox, that it got a substantial deal. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And so I'm kind of curious if this has always been an option even in the Fox days. If it was like, hey, you know what? This is what we offer for 3 hours.
No, because 10 o'clock is when the evening news is on.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think that would have been a deal with Fox.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, maybe it was available if they wanted it. Because here's the thing. It's like, well, why you're giving us 2 hours. You're giving them 3 hours. Well, you can have 3 hours if you want it, but the news starts at 10.
Yeah, exactly.
And Fox just never took them up on it. Maybe that's the deal. And USA is like, well, we don't have to worry about the stupid news. Let's go ahead and roll with that third hour. I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's crazy that they wouldn't have been doing this from the get.
Yeah, I know. It is strange. It is a bit odd. Because it's just been since the beginning of the year that it's been a 3-hour deal.
Since the Netflix thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, since it went to Netflix. And before that, it was 2.
It was 2.
It was wonderful. It was lovely.
Great. It was great.
It was great. But apparently those days are done. I get the feeling those days are done. Unless after this deal, SmackDown also moves to Netflix.
2.5 hour SmackDowns
Then it'd be 2.5 hours. Yeah.
I mean, I get it from the USA Network's point of view. If anything else they could put in that time slot from 10 to 11 on a Friday night is going to get close to what SmackDown probably generates in terms of viewership if they find something that, if they bring back a relaunch of, I don't know, Silk Stockings and it really takes off.
They show nipple?
The original, I don't believe so. Nowadays, maybe.
Maybe. That could be like,
if it really
nipple.
takes off, then
You see men nipple all the time.
Oh yeah.
That's like that's one example of like the gender inequality thing that I think is ridiculous. Like, free that nipple, man. On SmackDown. This wardrobe malfunction. Enough cutting to black whenever a titty pops out, man. Tired of that.
Yeah.
That's like, it's funny because that kind of stuff to me is always like, it's not like I get from a privacy standpoint, I think it's great. But like, it's not, to me, it's not like, oh, that's so salacious. Look, her titty accidentally popped out. Oh, quick, hit the pause button. Like it's like in that Seinfeld episode. It's like ugly naked. It's like, oh, you're getting out of the shower, you bend over in an awkward way. It's like, it's not very sexy.
Yeah.
You're in a figure eight trying to get out of it, and the titty pops out. Not very sexy. She's just trying to get out of this submission move. But from a privacy standpoint, yeah, you don't want creeps out there seeing the whole kit and caboodle. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, dude.
No. So, anyways, yes, it seems like SmackDown at 3 hours is going to be the norm going forward, and we'll have to adjust to it.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
So your Saturday, your Friday nights, either you got to make a choice: you go get your load on, or you watch SmackDown. Can't have it both ways now.
I think you know what, dude, this is the thing that I think that you and I have established. Like we're so like ingrained in what we do. The fact that we can kind of be fluid with how we approach stuff in that respect. It's like, okay, well, do we want to put in the extra work this week to do a count out so we can have our Friday night off and get our load on? Or do we, are we just like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to deal with that. We'll just grin and bear it through Friday night, and we'll do that.
I think a lot of it though, it depends on what's going to happen. If it seems like it's a loaded show, there's more of a motivation to get it done as opposed to going out.
Yeah.
I think my days of getting my load on are pretty much done though, because after about 2 beverages,
dude, I'm going to tell you. Well, let me tell you something. On Friday, we had T's graduation.
Yeah.
My niece graduated from college. It was awesome. But during the day, I had after the graduation, which was you're just sitting there endlessly. 1,600 graduates, 5 seconds between the names being read.
Let me ask you.
The math on that.
That's a long time. Were the concession stands open?
Yeah, no, I had some chicken tendies and some fries.
Oh, all right. Good. Good.
So we get through that, and then of course we had arranged a dinner with a bunch of people, and so there was we had to get to the dinner space to decorate it a little bit, and so I did a bunch of sitting and a bunch of walking, and when I got there, the restaurant people were like, "Hey, do you want something to drink?" I'm like, "Just give me a beer." I think I had a Blue Moon or something like that, and it was so delicious, but between that single beer. One beer, and then just the exhaustion of the day. Saturday was a hangover day, dude.
Yeah. I
felt hungover.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do anything. No wrestle juice, no nothing today.
Yeah.
Just hungover.
Yeah.
Had McDonald's that morning.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, no, we didn't even, I didn't even go out on Saturday night or Friday night. And the next day I paid for it. I'm such a lightweight these days.
Well, we're old now, Steve.
We're old now. That's the thing. We're old now.
That's what happens when you get old.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so we'll see. Maybe this Friday we'll do SmackDown Friday night. Maybe we'll drop a count out. I don't know.
We'll figure it out later in the week.
Is Cena Killings is this Friday, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that might be worth covering live then.
There might be something of interest
might happen there.
Yeah, something might happen there.
All right.
So anyways, we'll get to the SmackDown review, the 3-hour SmackDown review here in just a moment. But we've got some sponsors for the show today, including a new one, Larson. Let's go ahead and talk about them.
Let's do it. Let's take a break. Good word from our sponsor, DeleteMe, Steve.
Yes.
Privacy is a huge deal for me, which is one reason why it drives me absolutely crazy whenever I find out that my personal data is apparently just out there available online. I can think of several times over the years when someone tried to use my identity to buy something. Heck, I just found out like a week ago that someone is using my credit card to buy anime.
Oh, yeah, I've been huge into anime. anyways, moving on. DeleteMe makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. When you sign up with DeleteMe, you can tell them exactly what information you want deleted, and they'll do all the hard work of getting it all removed from data broker sites. Plus, DeleteMe isn't just a one-time service. They'll send you regular reports on what info they've found, where they found it, and what was removed.
So take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for DeleteMe. Now, at a special discount for our listeners today, get 20% off your DeleteMe plan by texting RAW to 64000. And let's get a word from our sponsor, Cash App. So, Steve, the wife and I went out with some friends recently, and when we were paying the bill, I had to think for a moment about the best way to cover our portion of it when someone else was just going to pay for, the whole thing and we would pay it back.
Oh, yeah, man. I know what you were thinking. You're probably like, let me get out the checkbook like old Steve. But like, dude, I just talked about this a couple weeks ago. Cash App is literally an official partner of WWE and sponsored Money in the Bank. Use Cash App.
You didn't let me finish, though. If you'd let me finish, I was going to say, thanks to you, Steve, I had Cash App on my phone right here and was able to get the money moved super quick.
Thanks to Steve, that's right, because Cash App is a safe, easy, and fast way to send, receive, and transfer money to family and friends. It's also easy to get started. Just enter your phone or email and some other basic information. No bank account needed, and it's secure and safe. Like if you're about to send money to a sketchy account, a scam warning pops up.
For a limited time, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash for real. There's no catch. Just download Cash App and sign up. Use our exclusive referral code GOINGRAW in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App.
All right, so we did have a Smackdown this week. Lots of John Cena in this particular episode of Smackdown. They're really using him to try to juice those ratings. And yeah, he got a lot of people coming for him. And he laid out his master plan. I was really curious when he was laying out his master plan. This is like a Bond villain explaining every step of the process, while I guess the WWE universe is tied up, ready to be attacked by sharks with lasers or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're suspended over a pool with sharks armed with lasers. Yes.
Yeah, he's like, let me explain to you. I know now I'm just doing Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil,
like, let me explain to you my plan. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny. He has to retrace his steps and tell us why this is really good writing.
I guess I would assume less that it's a master plan he's laying out, but something in hindsight or after the fact that he's saying, look, this was my plan all along. And so any moments where he's betrayed any sense of vulnerability or weakness, he can write off as, part of my master plan.
Yeah.
Because nothing in here is master plan accounted for R-Truth costing him the match at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Cody brings that up. He says, you didn't mention that I pinned you, But then maybe, once he beats Killings next week, or this week, sorry, because they have a match set up. I did appreciate, I actually really liked the bit where it was just like still on commentary in the theme song while Cena was chewing out Aldous, and he puts his hat backwards and he's just like in his face, like chewing him out.
Yeah. There's no audio from them actually talking backstage. Yeah.
I don't know. Like we are firmly just deep into the Cena heel run. And this is as solid as we're going to get in terms of like, what does his heel run look like? Mm-hmm. We still don't know what the transformation back to face is going to look like. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Cody wins that title back at, SummerSlam. Yeah, because you got to think Sammy's going to win that King of the Ring and fight whoever has the world title at SummerSlam. So Cena's title, I think, is still going to be up for grabs, right? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, let's look at the King of the Ring fields for now. So we got
Sammy
Cody
versus
advancing.
Orton.
Yeah, we got Sammy versus Orton. Orton won his four-way match in advance. Cody won his in the main event. And so we got one last one on Raw tonight. And on the bracket, Jey Uso was in that mystery spot.
Jey Uso is announced as the mystery guy.
So we got Jey, we got Rusev, Sheamus, and
Bronson Reed.
And Bronson Reed in that last match. I would expect Jey Uso to come out of that the winner.
As would I.
So we'll have Jey and Cody, and then Orton and Sammy in the semifinals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you can make the case. Honestly, you can make the case for anybody winning the tournament based on those semifinals, probably with the exception of Randy Orton, because he's already wrestled and lost to Cena. I don't see them revisiting that.
Yeah, it's not going to be Orton. I think Sammy's going to beat Orton. Maybe, I mean, there might be some shenanigans involved. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if there is some shenanigans involved. And then, yeah, Cody and what do you think is going to be, Cody and Jey or Cody and Bronson Reed?
Well, I think Cody and Jey would probably be the more interesting.
1,000% would be the more interesting one.
Matchup.
I wonder if they're going to want to do good guy versus good guy.
I mean, that's essentially what Randy versus Sammy is.
That's true.
You know, I think right now they're just trying to find
4 good guys in the semifinal. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
If that's the case, yeah.
Because, you know, if the Jey versus Sammy, intriguing matchup. Sammy versus Cody, intriguing matchup. Even Cody versus Randy, intriguing matchup. Like, there's a lot of variables there that are all intriguing in terms of the stories they can tell during the semifinals and final matches. That makes it fairly unpredictable, which I prefer. You would think Jey would beat Cody, but I think there's an avenue by which he makes it to the finals.
I think this might be the most obvious. Boy, you know, when I say obvious, I don't know. Sammy winning in Saudi Arabia seems kind of obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But then Cody versus Randy Orton also seems kind of obvious based off the fact that Saudi Arabia loves Randy Orton. So it's like, why wouldn't you do that?
But I guess also the question is, Sammy winning seems obvious, but the Rumble is also going to be in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yeah, that's
year.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
And while Sammy would get a huge pop for winning King of the Ring, maybe they want that to happen at the Rumble.
That could
next
be.
Year.
Yeah, that could. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Cody could totally do the King win King of the Ring and go on to SummerSlam
and face Cena at SummerSlam
Cena.
if they want to do it at that point.
Yeah. They also tease more Cody versus CM Punk as well.
Yep.
Makes you think you're going to get that by the end of the year too. I wouldn't shy. If Cody wins at SummerSlam, they could run him and Punk at the Stadium Show. You know,
Survivor Series.
Well,
it depends if that. With Crown Jewel in Perth, are they going to do it? Are they going to have the matches for the Crown Jewel title?
You would think so. I mean, there's nothing that says the Crown Jewel title has to be defended in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
it is in Saudi, like the WWE experience. I think where the titles are held,
or where they're housed. Yeah.
But they're going there for Night of Champions. They could just grab those titles and take them back with them, you know, or get some new ones made, perhaps. I don't know. But yeah. So a lot of challengers lining up for Cena. What do you make of LA Knight being cost his chance by Seth Rollins' crew, who's on a different brand?
I mean, the brand split doesn't mean anything. First of all,
well, it's not that it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean much.
I mean, LA Knight, can just show up on Monday and nobody will bat an eye.
Yeah, just like Braun and Bronson could show up on SmackDown and no one bats an eye.
Because they did.
It just happened.
But in terms of like an actual
Or CM Punk, for that matter, show up on SmackDown.
Yeah, but Punk is that guy. Hey, let me ask you something. Who got a bigger reaction? Who got a bigger pop when their music hit? Orton or LA Knight? Because it wasn't Cody. Cody's look, people love Cody, don't get me wrong. But LA Knight and Randy Orton, they got that music that hits.
It might have been LA Knight.
It's really close. Might have been LA Knight.
He actually had a pretty solid promo on SmackDown.
His promo was good.
Yeah.
He was, and the people were hanging on every word.
It actually seemed like it was CM Punk for a moment forgot what he was going to say.
Oh, he 1,000% forgot. He literally said, "What was the other thing you said?"
Yeah.
This. Hey, you know what, man? He's our age.
Yeah.
He's all right. And one thing you start to learn, you can't wing it like you did back in 2011,
Nope.
Phil.
Nope.
That dude thought he can go out there on a Friday night. Oh, man, I'm going to stroll out there. I'm going to burn it
Pipe
down.
bomb like it's 2011.
Because he even said, bear with me, people. I got a lot to talk about. Hey, he covered himself. He covered himself great. But, yeah, that dude got lost a couple times in the woods.
Yeah, he did. No,
He did.
he managed to find a way to make pacing around the ring somewhat captivating. So
Yeah.
that's no easy task.
Nope, not at all. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into it because there's a lot to get into here. So yeah, like we mentioned, challengers galore lining up for John Cena. So John Cena comes out, and I'm not going to reiterate this entire thing, but basically he says, I'm 1,000 steps ahead of you, and this is how I did it all. And he talks about basically using the opportunity of Cody being distracted by The Rock to turn on him. Didn't really say I was actually aligning with the final boss, but I used that as an opportunity and to guarantee himself a WrestleMania win. He sort of knew that, Rollins and Punk would be so obsessed with each other that he could take advantage of that at the Chamber. He says, you all took the bait. I formed an alliance with Logan Paul, which kept him at bay in terms of being a challenger as well. And it gave me enough time to size up CM Punk. He called him, he said he has sociopathic self-confidence. He says, now if CM Punk wants to take this, he has to admit to himself that he is a hypocrite. And Punk really, in his meandering promo, really danced around the idea that, like, we know what Cena's talking about, but CM Punk doesn't really seem interested in addressing that head on.
No, it's pretty much just, it's because I want to take that title off you, I'll do it anywhere.
Yeah.
Essentially. That's
right.
what Punk said.
Yeah, exactly. So he gets done talking about his he says
I like the bit he said about Seth. He says, I don't have to worry about Seth Rollins and Money in the Bank because he wants me to walk out with this title. Because then he is the champion around here.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. He says, I crunched every number, solved every puzzle, cracked every code over 25 years, and thank God I don't need your appreciation because you won't miss me until I'm gone for 3 years. This is the greatest night of your life, talking to the crowd, of your life, and to me, you're a mathematical equation. He's very Dr. Manhattan at this point, dude.
Yeah, he is.
He's going to disappear to Mars. He says or the moon. Was it Mars or the moon? I forget. He says, and the math says no one will ever be worthy enough to earn the right to hold this again. So that brings out Cody Rhodes. He says, you think you're 1,000 steps ahead. You aren't just smart. You're a genius. Cena had also said that the Mount Rushmore of wrestling is 4 Cenas.
Yeah.
He says, it's unfortunate everything you said came to fruition. You were right. Mount Rushmore, absolutely. But here you are with a 25-year master plan. There's this variable you didn't account for. He says, why didn't you include the simple fact that you were looking up the lights and I pinned you in the center of this ring? I'm not a part of your plan. You're part of mine. So, John Rushmore, where does that leave you and I? And you can just see Cena's face. He's like, yeah, you pinned me, but like, I'm still the champion. That was a meaningless match.
Yeah.
So that brings out
Randall Keith Orton.
Go ahead.
And he says, anybody and everybody saw that I beat you at Backlash. John Felix Anthony Cena. I had you down, dead to rights. I was about to take your head off your shoulders until someone came to save the day. Says, I realize now I need to do whatever it takes to win the title, even or get through whoever I need to get through to get number 15. It means being king of the ring, whoever I need to get through. He looks over at Cody. He says, Cody, I love you like a brother, and you know it. But if I have to put your ass down to get to this Punk, I won't hesitate to do it. This brings out L.A. Knight.
Oh, man, he says, let me talk to you. All week long, I heard the whole damn world say we want L.A. Knight. This guy is on Twitter. He's watching Going and Raw, talking, all the hot takes videos and whatnot, seeing everybody say L.A. Knight should have won Money in the Bank. He says, I know what y'all want, and I know none of y'all want me walking down there, so why don't we take a walk? I know I'm looking at the WWE establishment. I'm in a sore thumb sticking out here, and I like it. Yeah, you got to understand, Cena, you got this plan. My God, you're a genius. But I know for damn sure your plans didn't include this man. Nah. Let's throw it all on its head. King of the Ring's around the corner. Means I got a shot at you, and you. All in the way of taking what's mine. As unbreakable as I am when I walk in there, I got to drop a Viper, a Nightmare, and if I got to drop a Balding Genius, bitch John Cena, I'll be WWE champ with everybody saying, LA Knight, yeah. So Cena just leaves, starts talking shit, walks up the ramp, and then Ron Killings attacks him, lays him out. Officials come out, break it up. Killings is going crazy here.
Yeah, and right after that, there's a commercial break. We see backstage a really animated argument between Nick Aldis and John Cena, but we don't hear what they're saying.
Let's have him
get
in his face.
It's like a manager arguing with an umpire.
Oh, it is. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah,
1,000%. So then later on, Cena's backstage. He walks up to Jimmy Uso, asks, "Have you seen R-Truth?" And Jimmy says no. And then Cena says, "Have you seen Ron Killings?" And then Jimmy says, "I haven't seen either of them." And Cena says, "I know you're close. Tell him I'm on my way to the ring. Tell him to meet me out there." Mm-hmm. So Cena's music hits again. He just storms right to the ring.
Now, this is later on in the show. So
later in the show.
Yeah,
top of the
This isn't like the Charlotte's 2 promos back-to-back.
No. So then Cena just immediately starts yelling, "Shut up, shut up. There's a level of disrespect I could tolerate. R-Truth, you just crossed some lines. For once, I agree with you. There's a time to talk and a time to fight. Truth, get out here and let's fight." Instead, we get da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does as usual. It's great to be alive at Friday night thing. And he says, "Did I hear you were something about being disrespected, how you're tired of being disrespected? These people are tired of being disrespected." But now CM Punk has her microphone. Now you can trust that we have yet to begin to reach the levels of disrespect we're capable of. For old time's sakes, I'll give you a chance. Maybe I'm too Obi-Wan to your Darth Vader, so I'll give you a chance in front of this legendary wrestling town. Let these people celebrate you on your way out for the sacrifices you made. Give them a happy ending.
Did you hear as one guy in the crowd who said, "Hey, John, give me a happy ending"?
I did.
Shout out to that guy, because that popped me. So, John Cena just talks shit about the crowd, about Lexington. He says, the only thing that matters, he says, "This is the only thing that matters, so I'll eat crow to the same idiots wearing this shirt and singing your song. Fat chance." And Punk says, "All right, let the record state I gave you a way out, but let the disrespect begin. Your way is the CM Punk way." He says, "When the static hits and my music plays, everybody knows it's about to get real." He says, "Truth is what," because the crowd starts chanting, "We want truth." Because he starts talking about, what is the line? He says, "Tell a strong man a lie to offend him, which is why it pisses me off when you call me a hypocrite. Conversely," and then he almost lost himself here, "you tell a weak man the truth, and that offends him. And here's the truth, John." The crowd starts chanting, "We want truth." He says, "You can't beat me. When I'm at my best, you never could, and now you're going to ruin wrestling, so I'll take it upon myself to save it." He says, "What was the other thing you said?" "Oh, yeah, sociopathic confidence. That's a compliment. My unwavering confidence led me to the mountaintop time and time again. When people like you said I didn't have it, I'm not as confident as you because I won't walk out to a sold-out arena dressed like a toddler who struck out at T-ball." And he says, "You know what? I want that one stricken from the record because I sound like a PG John Cena. Ironic because you sound like CM Punk. You're stealing my best material, John. I won the title. I left. You're trying to follow my footsteps. I did it. And you know what? You couldn't and you know what? You couldn't stop me from doing it. Night of Champions is going to stop me. John Boy, for old time's sake, here's CM Punk to make your retirement tour palatable, watchable." And he just talks some more. He says, "Legends who belong on a Mount Rushmore. Terry Funk, Harley Race, Bret Hart, Eddie Guerrero. The audacity to put yourself once, let alone 4 times. You're a joke. Here's some more truth. You can't see me. I see through you. Always have. And that's the truth." And then Truth attacks Cena from behind. STF on Cena. Officials break it up. And then later on, Aldis chastises Killings backstage. Makes a match between Cena and Ron Killings for next week.
Yep.
So, yeah. Now, the Punk promo is hilarious because he's just out there winging it. You know?
Oh, yeah.
He gets lost, but nobody cares to see him Punk. They love the guy.
Exactly. He's been a good 30 seconds pacing in that ring, trying to remember what he was supposed to say.
Yeah, yeah.
We had more King and Queen of the Ring qualifiers right after the first Cena segment with Orton and LA Knight. We had that 4-way match with Randall Keith Orton versus LA Knight versus Carmelo Hayes versus Aleister Black. Fun match. Not a huge surprise that Randall Keith Orton gets the win here. But it came with some help from Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. So LA Knight's looking for a BFT on Mello. And then Mello hits Orton with first 48. Mello eats a boot. Knight with a BFT on Alistair. Mello breaks up that pin. Knight with a power slam. He's going for the leap and elbow, but then Bronson Reed pulls him off. Braun Breaker then hits him with a spear. Mello heads up for a frog splash, but then midair RKO from Orton right onto LA Knight. And then Orton pins Knight to get the win. LA Knight's been eating a lot of pins recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's still so over.
Yeah, I know. In Queen of the Ring qualifying action, we had Jade Cargill versus Piper versus Michin versus Nia. Jade got the win here. It's a fun match.
Yeah, this is fun. I like the Piper Nia Jax bit with the barricade. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was good. So Nia's looking for an annihilator. Connects. Piper breaks up that pin. And then Nia gets thrown into the post, and that's when the barricade spot happens. With Piper. Piper rolls back in the ring looking for a Viper bomb. Hits it, but then Jade hits her with Jaded to get the win.
Yeah. So Jade Cargill moves on to face Roxanne Perez on Raw, I think. And then later on, Alexa Bliss
faces the winner of the qualifier match tonight, or the quarterfinal match tonight.
And who's going to be in that one? Do you remember? Asuka. That's the one with Asuka.
Here, let me look.
Asuka's got to come out of that, right?
You'd think so. I mean, it's a return match. You'd think so.
I mean, she ain't going to get pinned, but
no.
Yeah, you would think that
it's Asuka, Stephanie Vaquer, Raquel Rodriguez, and Ivy Nile.
Raquel and Ivy. Well, they're not going to win it. So, boy, Stephanie and Asuka. Is Stephanie in a thing right now with anybody?
No.
Is she wrinkling any? Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, we'll see.
But I guess they could set something up with this match potentially.
Mm-hmm. That could be.
Like if Raquel's on the verge of winning and Stephanie cost her the win. Then...
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's a good point. We had Charlotte Flair, Alba Fire, Alexa Bliss, Candice LeRae. So it was going to be Chelsea Green. Yeah. But we're backstage with Alexa. She's like, yeah, I'm not rattled about losing Money in the Bank, and I'll win Queen of the Ring. Charlotte walks in. And the great thing about this is, like, because of Charlotte's, like, crazy big, like,
the
collar
thing, yeah.
It was acting as like a sound amplifier. She talks into the mic, and it sounds like she's
it's
right
like
next to...
a parabolic microphone.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why I picked up. I was watching on my TV. It was like, she sounds so loud.
Yeah.
And it's because of that, like, solid thing that she's wearing.
Yeah.
Anyway, she says, there's only room for one queen in this division. Woo! Great finish to this match, too. This was a lot of fun. So Candice LeRae was in this match as well. And as Charlotte has Alba Fire in a figure 8, and Alba's trying her damnedest not to tap out, Alexa hops in, grabs Candice LeRae, and drops her with the sister Abigail. Yeah. And as she's pinning her, you see Alba Fire trying to reach so that she could break up the pin. And Charlotte doesn't know because she's looking this way because she's upside down.
She's doing the back bend, yeah.
And Alexa Bliss picks up the win. And then, of course, Charlotte lets go. And she's like, God damn it. So I thought that was a really fun finish right there.
It was. So Alexa advances. Then the main event was the men's King of the Ring qualifier. We saw Cody take on Nakamura, Andrade, and Damian Priest before the match. Cody's walking backstage, bumps into Phil. Says, can't run from each other forever. And then Punk says, I know, but good luck. After Night of Champions, we'll see who's chasing who.
Who's chasing whom. Yeah.
Really good main event.
Yeah. This is a rad match. This is really good.
It was really, really good. Cody gets the win. He hits Crossroads on Nakamura, reversing it like a bit of a dragon sleeper that Nakamura had on, but really fun match.
Yeah.
Great pace. Absolutely. This match had awesome pace.
It did. Man, you get freaking Andrade. Andrade is just like, he makes everything better. He's so good.
He is good.
Gosh,
he's
really good. He's so good, yeah. Yeah.
Especially with pace. That's like his thing is he wrestles such a fast pace.
He does, yeah. We also had a really fun promo from Naomi, Money in the Bank winner. So she comes out. I adore her. Her promos are so much fun as a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's so like scenery chewing. You know what I mean? I love that shit. She says, I see some of you are looking real shocked, surprised, and real stupid. I told you I was done expecting scraps. I took what I deserved, and look at me now, miss Money in the Bank. You know what's funny? The entire time I was trying to beat Nia, you know who was there? Who bashed me in the head? Tiffany Stratton. She says, you see, too nice, Naomi, let it happen. But not this one. I want payback. When I clock her in the head with my briefcase, it'll feel so good to be your new WWE champion. That brings out Tiffany. Naomi goes, ah. So Tiffany comes to the ring. She says, you talk a big game. Why don't you just do it? Cash in and take my title right now. See, you say you've changed, but you're same old Naomi, all talk, no action. That's why you never beat Nia, so please prove us all wrong. Naomi says, do I look stupid to you? I ain't going to cash in now, but when you least expect it. Bitch, you heard me. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy making your life hell. Tick-tock, your time's almost up. I strongly advise you to proceed with caution. And the crowd does it with her, the proceed with caution bit.
Yeah.
It's genius. She knows the mechanics of a catchphrase, and they're buying into it.
Totally.
So then she starts to leave. Nia attacks Tiffany Stratton, and then Naomi's just watching at ringside laughing. Nia hits an annihilator. Naomi slides in. Nia stares at her, says, get out. And then Naomi leaves, and they sort of have a little stare off too. Mm-hmm. But Naomi's great, man.
Oh, she's so good. She's so good. We had Solo try to take credit for all of Jacob Fatu's success on SmackDown. So we get Jacob backstage in advance of him walking to the ring for a promo. Says, Lexington, U.S. champs in your city. I'm America's most wanted. I'm coming live. So he walks to the ring. He says, I'm going to keep it 100. Just because your family doesn't mean you go behind their back to try to snake them. Just because we both came from the same bloodline doesn't mean you take all the credit. Solo says, I'd be nothing without him. He says, Jacob Fatu would be nothing without him. That's exactly why I had to remind him, when you don't get in where you fit in. I guess it's me against the world now because Jacob Fatu is all gas, no brakes with it. Y'all know what I mean. So
it's the most plain Jane reading. Nobody can do. Look, in your defense, Larson, nobody can do this dialogue like Jacob Fatu.
That's why I don't even bother trying. So then we hear clapping up on the Tron. It's Solo. He goes, tell him how you feel. Are you done getting it off your chest at Money in the Bank? You could have made the biggest mistake of your life, and I could forgive you when I came to you a year ago. He said, when I came to you a year ago in Sacramento.
In Sacramento, 916.
You were doing nothing. You were nothing. Nobody wanted you until I brought you here. I brought you here and made you a superstar, made you a champion. It's all because of me. Next week, I'll be in the ring with open arms, willing to take you back, but I need to hear something from you. 4 words. I love you, Solo. I brought you into this world. I will take you out. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I can't do the rolling of the R. My kid can do the rolling of the R. I can't do the R roll. Mm-hmm. Yeah, can't do it. Zelina Vega wants a piece of Julia. So we're backstage with Aldis. Piper and Alba shows up. They're like, Chelsea wants a word with you. And he's like, Chelsea's not here. So they have her on FaceTime. She's in the pool.
Or jacuzzi. Like, was she in the spa?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was a spa. Yeah, maybe it was
she was enjoying a drink.
Yeah, she was looking like she was having a fabulous time. And she's like, Nicholas, it's true. I've had an impossible time finding a flight to Lexington. We need to postpone my Queen of the Ring match until next week. And he's like, postpone? I'm not doing any of that. But Alba looks ready to fight, so she can take your place. And she's like, I'm not authorizing that. He's like, oh, no? Well, I don't care. Go get ready, Alba. You're replacing Chelsea. So Chelsea keeps on talking. Zelina walks in, gets the phone, looks at it, she turns the volume all the way down and puts it on the desk so you can still see Chelsea talking away.
Yeah.
And she's like, look, I need Julia now. Aldis is like, well, she's not here this week. Says, it's not the girl running around doing sneak attacks you got to worry about, but the woman who keeps getting back up. One sneak attack going to scare me. She snuck up on the wrong one. I'm the U.S. champion. I want to talk to her face-to-face next week. So I'm assuming we're going to get a face-to-face next week.
Yeah.
This week
on Friday, yeah. So then we have the entire tag division. Hey, did you see Los Garza won those AAA tag titles, Steve?
Oh, you're right. That's right. Ooh. Where can I watch that shit? Man, I bet it wasn't. Man, might have to get on like Triller or something. What's the thing they got now?
Yeah.
Where is that? Where can you see it?
Have to look into that.
I have to look into it because you know what happened. in order for them to win those titles. I know it was a 4-way, so they could have stolen somebody else's finisher.
But odds are they got to hit their finish.
I know what I'm doing the rest of the day.
There you go. So we got the tag division backstage with all this, and they're all trying to figure out who's to be the first ones to take on the Wyatt Six. DIY suggests everybody else but them, and Aldis says, all right, taking everything into account, Motor City Machine Guns, you're the veterans. I want you to set the tone. You get the Wyatts. Then we have Motor City Machine Guns against the Wyatt Six. And the Wyatt Six, again, no surprise, gets the win here. Yeah. Weird finish where there was a situation where Loomis was covering Sabin, I think, and then just gets up because he's got to hit the top rope leg drop to get the actual win.
Yeah, that was a little odd. These guys don't wrestle very often. So who knows? Who knows? A little bit of rust, perhaps.
Perchance, yes.
Yeah, oddball situation to have the Wyatt Six just concerned about the tag division.
For some reason, yeah. Why?
I don't know. I don't know, man. Dude, what a ball drop. Massive. You had Bo Dallas, the man, the dude, in the office of Adam Pearce that one time. And it was like, oh, what is this all about? And then it was about nothing.
Nothing. Much ado about nothing.
He was there. He was like, hey, man, what are the good places to eat around here?
Yeah, making a formal complaint about someone eating the last piece of prime rib.
Yeah, that could be, yeah. Yeah, that could be, yeah. Joe Gacy swears it wasn't him, man. I'm just doing a Bray Wyatt impression at this point. Yeah. But he kind of talks like him a little bit, you know?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. And those promos especially. So, yeah, I don't know. Get him out of there. Get him out of the tag division. Or at least have him be like a disease that infects all the divisions. Why isn't Nikki Cross in the freaking women's division somewhere?
Yeah.
The promise of all this stuff, and then they just don't give it to us.
I know. Well, there's a conversation we had not long ago. Do they not know how?
I mean, you know, I don't know.
At the end of the day, Triple H is like, well, it's got to lead to matches, and you can't just find a way to take the essence of what Wyatt Six was initially about and have that translate to the wrestling ring. That doesn't seem that hard. I get it to an extent with Firefly Funhouse Bray and then The Fiend. To an extent, I understand the difficulty of trying to bring a lot of that into the wrestling ring. But if you have the Wyatt Six as like this force that's trying to, like for instance, the feud with Chad Gable. He just cast Alpha Academy aside, started American Made, turned his back on his family. Well, this is retribution for you doing that now, Chad Gable. That was laid out for us.
Yeah.
And Chad Gable did not change at all from that feud whatsoever. And Wyatt Six just moved on as if it never really even happened.
I mean, you got 1 million people on the roster. You could take one dude from SmackDown. I don't even know who, but you could take one dude from SmackDown and have him, you know, feud with Uncle Howdy. Mm-hmm. You know, and you just do small vignettes every week. And then eventually they have a match. Mm-hmm. And then, like, you know, have Nikki Cross be doing the same thing. And then sometimes they commiserate backstage. You know, I don't know. I feel like it's not I feel like it's not that hard.
No, I think in the Wyatt Six especially, it's not that hard.
Just grab a guy.
Yeah.
Carmelo would actually be perfect for Uncle Howdy. Because here's the thing. Uncle Howdy doesn't need to win. Carmelo does. Mm-hmm. But Carmelo's had like the kind of journey where he's kind of like underperformed to his, you know, he was drafted number 1 in SmackDown. And I know this is on creative, not the guy. But within the story of the WWE, like he was drafted number 1. He aligned with The Miz. You could bring The Miz into it. You can have Miz. It's kind of like what they teased with Aleister Black and then just sort of dropped. Like, do that with Uncle Howdy. Have Aleister Black and Uncle Howdy do a thing. Yeah. You know? These are a bunch of spooky promos for the people who like the spooky shit. Mm-hmm. Do that.
Yeah, do that. Seems straightforward, honestly.
They were going to do Alexa and the Wyatts, and they just are not doing that either.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's like, you know, everybody, we all have ideas that we want to do. You know, I got this comic book I'm working on. I don't exactly know where it's going to go. But that's not like my full-time job. This is my full-time job.
Yeah.
I'm able to accomplish this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, Maybe he'll get the hang of it. Maybe he'll get the hang of this wrestling thing. Someday he'll get the hang of this wrestling. Hopefully, I don't lose my interest in wrestling. Like Pacini was like, "Yeah, it's taking too long. I'm out of here. Do some other shit." That's a sense of, I respect the shit. That's what he said on that whole Future Cultaholic video.
Oh,
He's like, "Yeah, I'm just not feeling wrestling anymore. I'm gonna go do other stuff."
All right, you want to answer some questions?
Sure. Dave Matushek says, with Vikingo shockingly being... Oh, hey, did you hear about this?
Yeah.
Alberto was super cheered and Vikingo was booed.
Yeah.
He says, do you think WWE choosing the former may backfire in the long term? In the long term, I don't think it'll be too much of an issue unless WWE wholesale changes their shit so much that, like, the crowd just rejects them.
Yeah, that it seems like, well, this is AAA in name only. This isn't, what we've been watching for years and years and years and years. I didn't watch any clips from Triple Mania to see what the presentation was like or anything like that. I read about what happened in the main event, though.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna do that later on today, though.
There you go. Look, your day's almost booked. Timor here asks, which wrestler deserves a Mount Rushmore consisting of 4 of them?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, what now?
Which wrestler deserves a Mount Rushmore consisting of 4 of that wrestler?
I hate to say this these days, but Triple H. Kind of clearly, man. You got the Booker, Triple H. You've got, the game.
Terrorizing. Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't know about terrorizing, but like, yeah, I kind of feel like, the business guy, Triple H. You've got DX. You've got Evolution, and you've got his, this run, the solo run, just him. I feel like that's legitimately, you can put those 4 guys on there.
The correct answer is Sid.
Oh, get out of here.
Sid. You got Psycho Sid.
Sid Vicious.
Sid Vicious. Sid Justice. I'm sure he just went by Sid.
Probably softball player Sid Udy. He's probably pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could maybe. I mean, I'm just doing kind of a Faces of Foley thing here. I mean, there are 3 very popular variants of Hulk Hogan. His last run in 2002 when he came back to the company, or 2003, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
The original Hulkamania, and then the NWO Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, was incredibly popular. So you could put 3 Hogans on a Mount Rushmore. That's not 4.
No. Stunning Steve Austin.
No,
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stunning Steve Austin does not belong on a Mount Rushmore of any.
Broken Skull Session Steve Austin.
Oh man, podcaster extraordinaire.
Yeah, you can't really put ATV driver Steve Austin on there though.
No, man. I don't know what the opposite of Mount Rushmore is, but that's where ATV driver would belong.
Matt Linder here asks, you guys bored as I am with potential Sammy, Orton, Cody, and Jay Final 4?
No, I think you said it earlier. I think it's actually pretty intriguing.
Yeah, I think there's some. I know.
What's the most boring version of that we can get?
It'd be Cody and Orton because we've seen it. Sorry, no, not Cody. Orton, we haven't seen it.
Cody Orton is, that is the most boring. Sammy and Jay is pretty interesting.
Yeah, Cody Orton would be the most boring. But
Jay and Orton would be
that'd be the most boring.
Because who cares?
There's no history there.
Yeah.
Your UFO guy asked, who is the greatest jobber of all time?
He isn't like Brooklyn Brawler or something like that?
Like historically speaking, I guess so. Yeah.
Probably him.
Yeah. Steve Lombardi.
Maybe. Finn Balor. The captain as a dog says, so how do so many wrestlers have chains dangling from their gear yet nobody ever gets hurt by them? I'll be honest with you. I'm shocked that more wrestlers aren't severely injured more
Money
often.
in the Bank, Rhea had the choker with like the studs on it. And I was like, geez, those look sharp and dangerous.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Oh, wow. Joe the Meme Maker says, just came back from a music festival. Want to know if you old boys would do a festival still. I've probably been to a festival. I just don't remember. But there's no chance in hell I would do that now.
So the last time I tried to do the music festival thing was maybe 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we got there and it started raining. And so like acts are running behind and I'm like, this is miserable. There's no reason for us to be here anymore. Yeah. No, probably not. Unless it's like a small scale thing. You know, if it's like Coachella, no, I can't do that anymore. I did it 20 years ago. I don't think I can do it anymore. But
if it's like concert in the park, you're cool with that.
Yeah. That I'm cool with. If there's no more than, say, I don't know, 2,000 people, yeah, I'm cool.
Right, yeah. But one of those huge festivals?
No, I can't do it anymore.
No good.
No. Aiden here asked, do you think bringing back rock music to wrestling could bring in some old fans again? Or is hip-hop necessary for today's generation of fans?
If you're going to bring back old fans, it ain't going to be through what the theme song is.
Nope.
That's not going to be the thing.
Nope.
They barely even use the theme songs.
I know. A lot of times it just plays under transitions from show to commercial or commercial to show.
You know, AEW's got a pretty solid intro these days. I think it's a Linkin Park song.
I thought it was Sum 41.
Oh, is it Sum 41? Okay.
That's what
Sorry.
I thought.
I think you're probably right about that. It doesn't do much. It's about as good as you're going to get these days for like a rock intro. And I just realized I don't care.
I know. I don't care about what music plays in the intro. I'd prefer it to be an interesting, vital artist.
Yeah.
But usually the intro is so short if it's on at all.
Yeah.
And so often the intro music is just playing under what Joe Tessitore is saying to bring us back into the show or to throw to commercial.
I liked it. I feel like Smackdown Live kind of killed it with the AC/DC thing. Or maybe it was Friday night. I forget what it was. And that was so cheesy. It was fun to make fun of.
Yeah.
But like these days, I just realized I don't even care. I'm about to sit down for 3 hours and watch this shit. I don't care about the intro. Just get on with the damn show. I know I'm about to get a 5-minute fucking recap of things that just happened.
Or, 5 minutes of people arriving at the arena.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. No, I'm going to do that one. That's a lot. Oh, wow. Lord Blake Whitehouse says, I just found out my girlfriend is pregnant. Womp womp. I mean, congratulations.
Yeah.
If that's what you want. He says, do you have any advice for me how to help my girlfriend out the next 8 to 9 months? I don't know, just do what she says. That's it. Just do what she says.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whatever she says, do it.
Yeah.
Because having a whole human in you is probably a crazy fucking weird experience.
Yeah. John the Revelator says, everything in its right place is my favorite Radiohead song and favorite song ever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Which Radiohead song is your favorite, and what's your favorite song ever?
Oh, wow.
Favorite Radiohead song is probably Pyramid Song. I love that one.
That's a good one.
Favorite song ever is tough. That's a hard one. Because a lot of it depends on my mood.
Oh, man. My favorite
Right now is probably Pearl Jam's Spin the Black Circle, Steve.
My favorite Radiohead song ever, even that kind of changes from time to time.
Yeah.
Right now, it might be Videotape. It's rare that I listen to that and I don't get teary-eyed.
Yeah, it's a good song.
It's such a good song. That song, I started to figure out how to play it on the piano.
Oh, yeah, it's super easy.
I forgot it, but I started to.
That's good. Yeah, that's an easy one to pick up.
Yeah.
So is Pyramid Song. That's not that hard. It's just 4 chords, maybe 5.
Yeah. But boy, I mean, that's a really tough one.
Getting musical. I'll teach you how to play like spinning plates on the piano. How about
that? Come on over and do it. Come on over.
That one takes a little bit more dexterity.
My favorite song ever, I don't know.
Dude, isn't Let It Be?
I mean, Let It Be is definitely like it hits that nostalgia thing. Like, I remember being a little kid and Dad had the videotape, and I love that song. So yeah, I mean, probably when you say favorite and you're in your mid-late 40s, you probably just go to something like that. But it doesn't hit me in the feels the way, for example, Videotape does.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Yeah, I don't know if I can say that I have. Or Black, maybe Pearl Jam's Black.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like I'm a little old for that these days.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd say my favorite song ever is. I have a playlist of some of my favorients, regardless
Yeah.
of era
There's
or genre.
there's a song right now that I it's you remember Boy and Bear, the band?
Mm-hmm.
They got a song called Back Down the Black that also hits me because I was listening to it a lot when my dad was on the on the downslide. So I listen, if I listen to that, it gets me really. But no, I'm looking at my playlist right now. I mean, how do you not get up for What a Fool Believes?
Great song.
I mean, dude, if I said that's my favorite song ever, like that could be.
Yeah, no one would argue with you.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Sebastian Garcia here says, would you rather have a WWE versus AEW Super Show, have the Kings win the finals, or be directly involved in a new Star Trek series?
Kings win the finals.
Really? Above involved in a Star Trek series?
I wouldn't want to be involved.
Because you get paid for your involvement, Steve.
I wouldn't want to be involved in a Star Trek series. I don't think. I want to
Even
enjoy
just to show
it.
up, like in a bit role.
Okay, so if that's the thing, if it's like, hey, I get like an O'Brien role, like the way he was on Next Generation, not a full-time gig.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that might be kind of cool. That might be
You get
really
residuals
cool.
then too.
You get residuals. Oh, it's all streaming now, so I don't think that matters.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
I would rather the Kings win the finals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you go? Would you either go party downtown right when it happens, or go watch the parade if the Kings won the finals?
You know, one reason I wouldn't want. Oh wait, what? I'm sorry. What was that?
There's two things. Like when the team wins the championship, people descend upon the downtown area to celebrate in the immediate aftermath of the win.
Yeah.
Would you do that, or a couple of days later they have the championship parade? Would you do either of those?
I wouldn't do the parade unless I get to be on the float.
No, you don't get to be on the float. You're not on the team.
Well, I chose them winning the finals. I should get something out of this.
I'm sure a lot of people in this situation would choose for them to win the finals, but they don't get on the float either.
Well, yeah, but if I chose it and it happened, like, wouldn't that mean that I had
You're
the
gonna
God ability?
You're gonna call up Vivek and said, "I chose this was gonna happen, then it happened. Therefore, I get to be on the float."
I mean, yeah.
I don't think that's gonna fly, man.
Well, being a Star Trek would be cool. Here's one thing about Star Trek that I wouldn't want to be: a guest on Next Generation, or like on Next Generation or Voyager for that matter. Because if you remember on Next Generation, if it was a special guest that wasn't a Starfleet officer, they always gave these fools the gnarliest outfits. They were always so tight fitting, and you'd see like the little mushroom tip down there.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, I don't want to be, showing off all my stuff. And then like you can see, like, I'd have to get in like shape that I'm just not interested in having the discipline to get in. So it's like I'd be like, can I get the Riker girdle?
Yeah.
So you can like just suck it all in.
Yeah.
And I'd be miserable. They'd put some weird fucking makeup on me.
Yeah.
So if I was a special guest, it'd be like, oh, this Starfleet lieutenant is off the chain. He went crazy.
Yeah.
That's who I would be. Crazy
Okay.
lieutenant.
Okay.
I'd be bad Starfleet lieutenant.
There you go. Let's see. Square root of -1 says, do you think Penta and Phoenix will ever have significant WWE singles runs, or will Triple H bring them back as Lucha Brothers? I think they could have decent singles runs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they reunite to take on the New Day by SummerSlam.
I feel you're right about that. I think that's going to happen at SummerSlam. This is great. Ben the Hammer Wilson. How would you book the final episode of wrestling ever? No more pro wrestling after.
Wrestling is ruined, huh?
Yeah, wrestling is ruined. It would be this. An arena gauntlet match where John Cena's in the arena, or whoever's in the arena, they're the champion. And everybody in the crowd gets to come down one by one and try to take him on.
Wow.
It'd be like that ritual thing they did with who is it? Inoki, when people like line up, the locker room
And he
lines
slapped them
up
all, yeah.
and slaps them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would be like that, but it'd be like Steven Seagal taking on all them dudes, or just like the gentlest, and then just do the big bump.
So I was going to say something, maybe they'll try to stick it to all the people who try to say, oh, all these years wrestling was fake. And the last wrestling match is like a real wrestling match.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a shoot wrestling match.
Yeah, take it back to its roots.
Yep.
Well, no, I like that. How about this? No, the last episode of wrestling takes place at like a carnival fairground.
There you go.
And they choose a mark from the crowd.
It's 2 hours long, the match is.
Yeah, right, yeah. And somebody comes up and they try to, outshoot the shooter. They try to take down the hooker.
Yeah.
And then there you go. And it's a shoot deal.
It is a shoot deal.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here.
Jonah here asks, what movie for each of you was great during your first viewing, but has since lost its appeal to you most each time you've rewatched it?
Oh, a movie?
That you enjoyed, thought was great the first time, but every subsequent watch.
Oh, dude, this is easy. It's fucking Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that movie the first time I saw it because it was just Star Wars.
New Star Wars, and you get so swept up into Star Wars, and you watch it the second time, you're like, oh, this isn't very good.
Like, what the fuck? And then you watch it again, it's like, God, this is actively terrible.
This is dreadful.
This is dreadful.
How did anybody greenlight this movie?
Captain is a Dog has another question here. It says, post-grunge, what's the better rock genre era? Nu metal or pop punk? I think they're both bad. I'm not really a fan of either of those genres. Give me some desert rock, like Queens of the Stone Age, or whatever the fuck Radiohead is. Like after grunge, I just turned to Radiohead.
Yeah, same.
And shit like that, like Spiritualize. I mean, wasn't that on the bill when we went in 98?
98 when we saw him in San Francisco, yeah.
Yeah, like at that point, it was like that Super Furry Animals.
Mm-hmm.
So I was more into that, whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah. Post-rock is what I got into more after post-grunge, along with Radiohead, some other stuff.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of rock, like Queens of Stone, I was big into Queens of Stone Age. I love those guys.
I never really listened to much new metal or pop punk.
Yeah. Art Guy says, what company do you use for your Going in Raw stickers? So the ones that we haven't done stickers in forever, but I think it was called Rockin' Monkey. I think it was Rockin' Monkey. They did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
Let me double check. Rockin' Monkey stickers, I think. It was Rockin' Monkey. So ROCKIN monkey.com. I think they did a pretty good job. They did like some of the not translucent, but the
holographic ones, right?
Yeah, the holographic ones. Yeah. They did a really good job with those. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Stay tuned tomorrow. We'll do our Raw review. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.